Do you like swimming in pools? Well, it makes sense because with this hot weather, it's really nice to take a dip. But you should be selective and careful about the swimming pools you go to and swim in, because there are some pools that are very dangerous and others that are really exciting. This is the result of the craziness of some engineers and designers. Instead of just making ordinary pools, they created pools that are almost impossible to believe. Pools that seem like they're straight out of science fiction. From artificial waves that can match real ocean waves to pools that are extremely deep. And that's just some of what we'll talk about in this video. Here we've prepared the 5 most dangerous and unique pools in the world. But before we continue, please like this video. It means a lot to us content creators. Thank you very much. Number 5, Alaya Bay, Switzerland. When you hear Switzerland, surfing is probably not the first thing that comes to your mind. It's more known for its snow, mountains, expensive watches, and trains that are almost always on time. And another thing, there's no coastline or sea here, so it seems impossible to have a real surf culture here. But in the middle of the Rhone Valley, there are huge Alps here that are over 3,000 meters high. And there's a place here that literally creates waves. And not just simple waves. This is the kind of wave that's really for professional surfers. The name of this place is Alaya Bay. It was opened in 2021 as the very first commercial surf pool in continental Europe. And honestly, it's like your mind can't process what it looks like when you see it in person. Just think about it. On one side of the pool, there are surfers riding big barreling waves. The waves break cleanly. They're fast. And it's like a real beach in Hawaii or Australia. But when you look behind them, you'll see huge Alps with snow on top. It's like 2 different worlds forced together in one place. Surfing and snowy mountains. It's like a scene from a dream. In fact, Alaya Bay uses Wavegarden Cove technology. It's an advanced system with more than 50 software-controlled hydrofoil modules responsible for creating the waves. Because of this, they can produce almost 1,000 customizable waves per hour, and their strength varies. There are waves for beginners that move quite slowly, but they also have what they call the beast mode setting, which creates seriously powerful waves for experienced surfers. The pool has a total of 8 wave levels, and if you join an advanced session, you can ride around 26 waves in just 1 hour. And the best part here? There's no waiting. You don't have to wait for the perfect wave like in the real ocean. You don't have to swim far or read the water conditions. Here, everything is automated. The wave will come, and you can ride it right away. Then after just a few seconds, another one follows. It's like surfing made by a machine. The whole complex is also huge. It covers around 8,300 square meters. And usually while people are surfing here, you can still see the snow-capped mountains around. And even though it might seem surprising, it's really a perfect fit for Swiss people who love these kinds of adventures. And according to many observers, the Swiss quickly adapted to surfing. It's possibly because they're already used to skiing and snowboarding, because both of these also require balance, speed control, and proper body movement. It's like they just transferred their skills from snow to water. And because of that, Alaya Bay quickly became popular. It's almost fully booked every weekend. It has also produced a new generation of Swiss surfers, and most importantly, it has created a kind of footage that's impossible to get at a normal beach. Number 4, Deep Dive Dubai. There are swimming pools made just for cooling off, but there are also pools that seem to be made to amaze the whole world. And when it comes to Deep Dive Dubai, this is really on another level. This is no ordinary pool anymore. It's like a combination of a diving site, an underwater city, and a science fiction movie set under the water. Right now, this is the deepest swimming pool on the entire planet. From the surface to the very bottom, it reaches a depth of around 60 meters. It's like standing a 20-story building upright and then submerging it in water. And it contains over 14 million liters of fresh water that's always maintained at around 30 degrees Celsius. So it's still comfortable no matter how deep you go. Because of its massive size, it's almost equivalent to 6 Olympic swimming pools combined. But what's even crazier here isn't just the depth, but what's actually at the bottom. When you're just on the surface, it just looks like an ordinary big blue pool. But as you go deeper, you'll slowly realize that there's a whole different world underneath. Because the designers didn't just make a simple diving area. They literally built an entire underwater city. As you go deeper and deeper, you'll pass through different parts of the sunken city. There are roads, parking spaces, and a garage with cars still inside. There are walls full of graffiti and artwork, including a mural of Marielle. There's also a library with shelves of books. There's an apartment with a complete kitchen and living room. There's a game room with a foosball table, a pool table, and a vintage Pac-Man arcade machine. And that's not all. There are park benches on the side of the road. There are bicycles. There's a grocery store with shopping carts. And all of this is submerged underwater at a depth of around 12 to 60 meters. It's like you're swimming in a city that mysteriously drowned. And according to many divers who have been there, they almost all have the same description. They say it feels like an entire city was suddenly swallowed by water, but everything was left exactly as it was found. It's like time stopped. The whole place is also very detailed. There are more than 150 underwater lights that illuminate the entire complex, and all of these are connected to around 15 kilometers of cables. There are also 56 cameras monitoring inside the pool for safety. And there are even underwater speakers used for communication and effects while people are diving. The entire structure is shaped like an oyster shell as a tribute to the pearl diving history of the UAE. And as the diver goes deeper, the water pressure also increases. That's why not everyone can go all the way down to the bottom. Only certified technical divers are allowed to reach its deepest sections. And because of the amount of nitrogen that accumulates in the body, after a deep dive, they have to wait around 18 to 24 hours before they can go to high places like the Burj Khalifa. In other words, this is no joke. That's why Deep Dive Dubai also has its own hyperbaric chamber that can accommodate 12 people in case of an emergency. But even if you're not a diver, you can still see inside. There's a restaurant beside the pool with floor-to-ceiling glass windows. While you're eating, you can actually see the divers swimming at different depths of the underwater city. It's like an aquarium, but there are people inside. And honestly, it's hard to beat the look of this place. From start to finish of the construction, it took almost 4 years to build this. Most of the structure is underground. That's why from the outside, the building looks simple. But when you go inside, that's when you'll realize how insane it is. It's not just for tourists, it's also used as the largest underwater film studio in the Middle East. A lot of music videos, commercials, and movie productions are shot here because there are almost no other places in the world that can offer this combination of depth, clear water, and controlled temperature. And according to the director of Deep Dive Dubai himself before it opened, he didn't even want to call it just a simple swimming pool because for him, there are already many deep dive pools in the world. But the underwater city inside it, that's the reason why this place is truly unique. Number 3, Lost Shore Surf Resort, Scotland. Inside a former abandoned quarry near the village of Ratto in Scotland, there is now a place that you would hardly think is possible in that country. Just about 10 minutes from Edinburgh Airport, you'll find a massive wave pool that can generate around 1,000 waves per hour. And in terms of size, it's almost 3 times bigger than the Wembley Stadium pitch. And honestly, surfing really doesn't seem to fit in Scotland. When people think of Scotland, they immediately think of golf, whiskey, dark skies, cold rain, and seas that are almost freezing. Not tropical beaches, not surfers. But that's exactly why the Lost Shore Surf Resort is even more surprising. It was officially opened to the public in November, and it quickly became known as the largest wave pool in all of Europe. But it's not just the size that makes it special. The real star here is the actual quarry where it was built. Most wave parks in the world are just built on flat land or in industrial areas that don't really look interesting. Practical, yes, but not memorable. But Lost Shore took a different approach. Instead of just building an ordinary surf park, they used the old stone quarry as the natural frame for the whole place. So while you're inside the pool, you're surrounded by tall stone walls like a natural canyon. It doesn't feel like you're surfing at a resort. It's like you're surfing in the middle of a hidden spot in the mountains. And when the typical Scottish weather hits the area, that's when it looks even more surreal. The dark clouds above, the cold wind, and the rough rocks around the water, it all looks so cinematic. It's like a scene from a big movie. And because of that, the videos and photos that come out of this place are really unique. It doesn't look like a modern surf park. It's like the whole pool has been part of the landscape for a long time. It looks natural even though it's actually man-made. The cost to build this resort reached around £60 million. And it uses Wave Garden Cove technology with 52 wave modules that can create more than 20 types of customizable waves. There are waves for beginners. There are waves for intermediate surfers. And there are also strong barrel waves for professionals. So whatever your skill level is, there's a setup just for you. There's also around 250 meters of beachfront area with real sand. It's not fake flooring. It's really like a mini beach inside the quarry. And on top of the rocks, there are accommodation pods where you can see the entire surf park from above. But maybe the craziest thing here is that the water is heated all year round. So no matter what the weather is like in Scotland, the surfing sessions still go on. Imagine that, January in Edinburgh. The air outside is almost freezing. But while people outside are shivering from the cold, there are surfers inside the pool riding perfect barrel waves. And because of the extreme contrast between the warmth of the water and the coldness of the air, thick steam sometimes forms above the water during the coldest mornings. It's like there's smoke floating all over the lagoon. And when you combine that with the dramatic Scottish sky in the background, the scene looks absolutely unreal. According to some professional surfers who have surfed in wave pools around the world, this is said to be one of the best surf parks in Europe. The founder, Andy Haddon, a Scottish businessman and surfer, bought the land in 2017, and he worked on the project for almost 7 years before it was finally opened. But even before the first wave was even produced here, he already knew why this place was special. He personally chose the quarry because he knew that no other surf park in the world would have this kind of visual style. And he was right. In its very first year of operation, more than 100,000 people visited right away. And according to reports, it was even considered the largest investment in sports infrastructure in Scotland since the 2014 Commonwealth Games. And maybe that's the most important part here. In a country known for its extreme cold, strong winds, and difficult ocean surfing conditions, they were able to create a heated surf lagoon that can produce 1,000 perfect waves per hour from 8 in the morning until 11 at night. It's like they're quietly saying, no matter how cold Scotland is, they can still create a perfect surfing paradise. Number 2, Kelly Slater Surf Ranch, California. In December 2015, there was a video that literally drove the entire surfing world crazy. It was uploaded by 11-time world surfing champion Kelly Slater. And at first, people thought it was just a normal surf clip. But as the video played, almost the entire surfing community suddenly went silent. Because the wave he was riding seemed too perfect to be real. Long, a perfect barrel, clean drop, and almost no flaw in its shape. The kind of wave that surfers chase their whole lives but still can't catch. And what's even crazier, it kept breaking continuously for almost 45 seconds from one end to the other, like a computer-generated wave. So perfect. But after that, the camera suddenly pulled back, and that's when people really went crazy. Because instead of seeing the ocean, what surrounded it were fields, dairy farms, irrigation canals, flat land, and an American flag. No beach, no ocean, no coastline anywhere. This place is in Lemoore, California. It's about 100 miles away from the Pacific Ocean and right in the middle of the Central Valley surrounded by cows and farmland. In other words, there's no natural wave that should be forming there, but now it's one of the best artificial waves in the world. Kelly Slater secretly developed this technology for almost a decade. He worked with fluid dynamics scientists, aerospace engineers, and supercomputing experts to create a wave from scratch. And they didn't just do a simple pull, it was like a NASA engineering project. Before the real surf ranch was built, they first created a scaled-down testing facility in Los Angeles. There, they did thousands of experiments to perfect the wave shape, the depth of the pull, the contour of the bottom, and the speed of the hydrofoil. Every small adjustment had an effect on the resulting wave, and when the full-scale version was finished, that's when the real madness began. The wave is created by a 100-ton hydrofoil machine that they call the vehicle. It runs on a 700-meter track at a speed of around 30 kilometers per hour while pushing the water through the pool. And the real secret of the whole system is not the machine, but the bottom of the pool. This was designed using the same computational fluid dynamics technology used in aerospace engineering. This means that every curve and shape of the bottom of the pool is planned to create the exact type of wave. If you change even a small part of the contour, the wave will immediately change. That's why the whole setup is like a giant precision instrument made for one purpose only, to create the perfect wave. And this technology is so secret that they even cover the hydrofoil with a huge tarp when it's not in use, so no drone can take a picture of it. It's really a trade secret. There's also a control tower where operators can choose different wave settings. They can change the size, power, and shape of the wave for each run. But no matter what setup you choose, the result is the same. It's always a perfect wave every time. Same length, same barrel, same performance sections. And after an almost 45-second ride, you'll wait again for around 4 minutes while the water settles and the machine resets before the next wave starts. And according to many surfers, this is where the whole surfing industry really changed. Because before, surfing was all about the unpredictability of the sea. You had to read the waves. You had to adapt to the ever-changing conditions of the ocean. But at Surf Ranch, almost all the variables have been removed. The wave is the same for everyone, so the only thing left to judge is actual surfing skill. And because of that, it had a huge impact on professional surfing. In 2018, the World Surf League included the Surf Ranch in the championship tour. That was the first time in the history of the sport that a professional competition was held on an artificial wave. Imagine that the best surfers in the world flew to the middle of a farm in California to compete in a freshwater wave pool. And the spectators spent thousands of dollars just to watch it from the side of a former water ski lake. While the surfers are here, they stay in an Airstream trailer right inside the property. They eat farm-to-table food from local farms and relax by the pool while waiting for the next wave cycle. The surroundings are quiet, the air is warm, all you see around are fields, and then suddenly the machine starts moving again. They'll remove the tarp, the hydrofoil will start moving, and another 700 meters of perfect surf will roll through the pool again. It's like a science experiment that keeps repeating. But for surfers, that's paradise. According to surfing historian Matt Warshaw, there's a before Kelly's wave and an after Kelly's wave in the history of surfing. And according to him, that's not an exaggeration because the Surf Ranch really changed the direction of the whole sport. And as time goes by, the property just keeps getting bigger. There are now overnight accommodations, farm-to-table restaurant, cold plunge tubs, and recreational lakes for wake surfing. And up to now, more than 55,000 waves have been ridden here by different people, from world champions to CEOs. But the experience isn't cheap. Sessions here can cost thousands of dollars, and it's almost fully booked all year round. The same technology is now also being used in Surf Abu Dhabi, where a single session can cost almost $1,000 per person. But no matter how many new wave pools come out, the original Surf Ranch in California is still different, because there's no other place in the world that looks like this. A perfect barrel wave. In the middle of farmland, 100 miles away from the real ocean, it's trying to imitate number one, BSR Surf Resort, Texas. When you say Texas, you probably think of cowboys, barbecue ranches, and vast drylands right away. Not surfing, not giant waves, and definitely not a tropical-looking surf resort. But just outside Waco, Texas, there's a place that literally turned everyone's expectations upside down. Waco is a city located between Dallas and Austin with a population of around 150,000 people. It's better known for Baylor University, the Dr. Pepper Museum, and some controversial parts of American history that most people would rather forget. It's not a surf city, it doesn't have a coastline, and there aren't any large lakes nearby. The whole landscape here is just flat scrubland, ranches, and open fields that are more suited for cattle and barbecue than surfing. But within a 500-acre property outside the city, there's a surf resort that attracts some of the best surfers in the world, from Hawaii, Australia, and Brazil. And the reason, according to many, is that sometimes the waves here are even better than those in the real ocean. BSR started as a simple cable park for wakeboarders in the early 2000s. Its owner, Stuart Parsons, gradually added more attractions. Slides, lazy river, hotel, cabins, restaurant, DJ booth, and white sand beach. But when they added the wave pool in 2018, that's when the whole place truly changed. Because this wave pool uses American Wave Machine's Perfect Swell technology. It's a pneumatic system where 24 giant chambers release compressed air in succession to create waves. Each chamber is around 10 feet wide and lined up along a wall of the pool that's about 240 feet long. When the system starts, it's like a giant invisible force is pushing the water. And because of this, the pool can create around 40 different wave profiles. There are small waves for beginners, medium waves for intermediate surfers, and they also have what they call the Freak, Peak, and Launch Pad. This is the kind of wave that's so steep and fast it almost throws the surfer upward. And according to some professionals, it's even more consistent than many real ocean waves. In advanced sessions, waves come in sets of around 3 to 4 waves per cycle. And every 90 seconds, there's a new set again. In just a 1-hour advanced session, the pool can generate around 160 waves. But another reason why BSR became so famous is because of the color of its water. After they installed a roughly $2 million filtration system, the water became extremely clear and turquoise blue. The kind of color that makes you think you're in the Maldives, not a Texas ranch. And that's what looks absolutely amazing. Because while the surroundings are all dry land colored brown and gold, suddenly there's a crystal clear turquoise lagoon in the middle of cattle country. It's like an oasis that shouldn't be there. But what really made BSR famous in the surfing world is the event called Stab High. This whole competition revolves around one question. How high can a surfer fly off the wave? Because BSR's Launchpad wave can create extremely steep and repeatable ramps that are almost impossible to find in the real ocean. And because the waves are always the same, surfers can try the same trick over and over again. That's why Stab Magazine brought some of the best aerial surfers in the world to Texas. In the first event in 2018, 20 elite surfers joined. Each of them is given a wave one by one as they try to outdo the previous surfer's tricks. And after that, the video went viral all over the internet. Even people who don't watch surfing stopped to watch this. You can see Ethan Osborne, Mason Ho, Chippa Wilson, and other surfers flying 4, 5, sometimes 6 feet above the wave while doing insane aerial tricks and rotations in the air. It's like a mix of surfing and skateboarding because of how wild their moves are. The event even made it to ESPN's World of X Games. And for many people, that was the first time they saw how advanced modern surfing has become. And just think about it, all of that happened in the middle of a Texas ranch with a DJ by the pool, the smell of barbecue in the air, and an audience that paid up to $175 just to watch live. And As the resort grew, it became even more unique. Aside from the wave pool, it also has a white sand beach. There's a cable park for wakeboarding, the longest lazy river in the world. Water slide complex, hotel, 7 surf cabins, private houses with their own fishing lakes. There's even a working hay farm at the back of the property. And as if that's not enough, there are even real ring-tailed lemurs living inside the ranch. Yes, lemurs. And according to Stuart Parsons himself, they put them there because it seemed like a good idea at the time. Even now, a private session at the wave pool costs around $2,500 per hour. And usually it's professional surfers, surf brands, and big companies who book it for training and events. Because of this, some writers even called the wave the mecca of artificial waves. Even the Wall Street Journal ran a feature on it. And the most surprising thing is many of the best surfers in the world, people who grew up in Hawaii and Australia, who have access to the best ocean waves on the planet, still go to Waco to train. Because of this, you can repeat the same trick 20 times on exactly the same wave. That's something that's almost impossible to do in the real ocean. And while you're standing there under the hot Texas sun looking at the turquoise water as the DJ plays, and the next wave set is coming in, it's easy to forget that you're actually in the middle of landlocked Texas. But when you look around again, you'll see the endless flat scrubland stretching to the horizon. And you'll suddenly remember, oh right, this is still Texas.